welcome to the course Design Practice. In lecture module 26 and 27, you have already learned about what are the properties involved in a selection of a material. Now, in the module 28 and 29, you will learn what are the steps involved in a selection of a material. I will continue to discuss about material selection in engineering design. Okay. For selection of any material, it has any material has a lot of attributes. That attributes you can say that density, strength, cost, resistance to wear, resistance to corrosion, so forth. So for a design demands a certain profile of these things. For example, a low density material, a higher that material should be a lower density and higher strength, and cost will be should be modest at a modest price. Okay. So here for a designing of any engineering component, it depends on various components, sub components, that is called function, selection of material, choosing of manufacturing process, specifying a shape, and these all attributes are cross linked, interlinked to each other. Okay. Function. So for selection of any material, it starts with a function. What is the function? What is the function? It means, suppose that if you want to make a frame of a cycle. Okay. So what will be the function of that frame? Okay. Accordingly, so this function of that frame will influence the selection of material. Okay. And after that, suppose that we know that frame of any cycle, it carries a load of a person or anything. Okay. So accordingly, so that for we have to keep in mind load carrying capability. So that is the main function of your object. So you will have to choose accordingly material of, because every each material can't support the load requirement. That means we can say that function influence the selection of material. Again, now after selection of material, what happens? It influences the manufacturing process. Suppose that you selected a aluminum for frame. It possesses lighter in weight and higher strength. Okay. So for fabrication of frame which is to be made of aluminum, what will be the appropriate manufacturing process? And process are lot of process are there, manufacturing process are there. Suppose that casting, and it is sub classification of casting is sand casting, metal casting, etc. For again another process is machining. Machining is done by turning operation. Another operation you can say milling, joining, for example welding. And welding has several types. Suppose that arc welding, gas welding, etc. So to fabricate a aluminum frame for a cycle, you will have to choose appropriate manufacturing process. Again, this process influences the shape. Means, suppose that shape of a frame can be of various type, this type, or you can say this type. So, now this particular shape may not be possible to fabricate in by each process. Okay. So, you will have to select appropriate everything. So, again this completes the of all 4 components: function of your component, selection of material, and manufacturing process, and shape. These combining these things, you can select appropriate or you can say you can select or fabricate with appropriate material and shape. So, in this course I will focus only on the selection of material, although these other parameters are also necessary for a design of an engineering component, but I will focus only on selection of material. So, question is that how do we select the appropriate material for a given part? And this is very important question, because we have a variety of materials in market. Each materials has a specific property and cost of materials are vary. Okay. So, by keeping these points, the selection of material is not easy. Material selection is a step in the process of designing any physical object. Okay. Suppose that you are designing of a pen. So, first step will be how after function, what will be function of pen, first question. Then after deciding the function of pen, what will be material used in fabrication of pen. Okay. And you will have to keep in mind cost, availability, functionality, and properties like mechanical, physical, etc. So, material selection is a very crucial step in a process of designing of any physical object. I am going to explain material selection by choosing using a one case study. Suppose that we want to make a device to open a corked bottle. This is the wine bottle and cork is placed on the top. So, these are the various possible ways to open the cork. First, what are the process? Axial traction. You are going to pull the cork to open the bottle. Second thing is to remove it by shear traction. Suppose that you are applying something here, one force, so that it will get, and if you will pull here, so that your cork will, bottle will get opened. Third one is to push out from below. If you are applying a one force from bottom side, then also it may take out from the bottle. Third one is by pulverize it. So, it is very time consuming and not a good idea. And to bypass it altogether by knocking the neck of the bottle. This is the worst idea we can think of, because the things inside the bottle may be very costly or very precious thing for a moment. So, you can't you can't break the bottle from the neck and to get that liquid. Okay. So, I am taking only three way of to open the bottle. They are the and possible way to open that bottle. Working principle. Suppose that if you want to open from by pulling the cork, so what you can do? You will put a screw here, okay, and it will up to the cork's bottom portion, and then you will pull it, so that cork will get removed. Second one, you will make an arrangement, so that it will like as a just like a hollow thin tube, and this portion will get inserted into cork, and then after you will pull it, so that cork will get removed from the bottle. And third portion is that you will make a hydraulic pressure kind of piston cylinder arrangement, that is called arrangement, to apply a force from the bottom side, so that cork will come out from the bottle. Okay. But the embodiment of the figure identify the functional requirement of each component of the device, which might be expressed in statements like a cheap screw to transmit a prescribed load to the cork. Okay. It means your attributes for the designing of to opener. What is the cheap screw? It means cost. Second is a light lever to carry a prescribed bending moment, means light in weight. A slender elastic blade that will not buckle when driven between the cork and bottle neck, means that is the mechanical property. And a thin hollow needle, stiff and strong enough to penetrate a cork, again it is a mechanical property. So, these are your design attributes to make a cork opener. Okay. So, here what we can do, that for previous one, to make axial pull, this may be a possible way to open the cork. So, here how it is made? One dumbbell shape handle, and at center there is a screw, and it will go through the cork. First there will be, you can handmade, you can apply compressive low force on a screw handle, so that screw will get injected into the cork, then you just it will rotate and make a pull, so that it will get opened. Second thing, the other three used that is the levered pull, you can that is the gear levered pull. Either you can apply a, make a lever arrangement, so that will get, that portion will get fixed at top portion, top bottom, top corner portion of the cork, and then you will apply a force, so that due to the torque it will get removed. Third one is the geared pull. Here there is a gear arrangement, so that when you will rotate handle, so due to this arrangement what will happen, this gear 1 will rotate and it will transmit power to that gear, and it will help you to get removed that cork from the bottle. And fourth portion is spring assisted pull. Spring assisted pull is means you are applying a force, so that due to the spring force, they are the two springs S1 and S2, what will happen, there will be a compressive load will apply, and it will, after rotating that handle, so that it will get opened. So you can see that there are four possible way to make a cork opener. Either you can use a direct pull, either you use a geared pull, either you use spring or geared pull, spring assisted pull, so direct pull. So these are the four way to open bottle. Now after deciding the best option of cork opener, what you will think now, material, what will be the material of each component. So again then material selection comes into the picture. So here are the some properties of the materials. So the first general property of metal, I will talk about metal. So common metals are steel, aluminum, cast iron, magnesium, zinc, copper, lead, etc. These things, these metals can be used to make your cork opener. Okay. And these materials have a specific several properties: high electrical conductivity, high heat conductivity, ductile, easily deformed, high thermal shock resistance, suitable for structural and load bearing application, alloy utilized for development of high performance metal. So there are variety of properties for the these kind of metals, but to select a particular material, what you will have to look into these things. Suppose that you are making a handle, cork handle, okay. So and there will be, you will use your hand to make it rotate clockwise or either or anti-clockwise. So this property is not required, they are irrelevant property, okay. But yeah, ductile, so this is also not required, okay. So appropriate accordingly according to your functionality, you can select your material. Second properties of ceramics, they are the common ceramics are available, we have bricks, glass, refractory and abrasive ceramics, and these materials have a several properties: low electrical conductivity, low heat conductivity, brittle in nature. Ceramics are very brittle, you know. very high brittleness, you can say. High wear resistance in high temperature application, corrosion resistance, generally used as insulator and load bearing structure, and biocompatible materials. And properties of polymers. Common polymers are elastomers. We have discussed in earlier modules, plastics, adhesive, plastic, and they are produced by polymerization of organic molecules into large molecular structure, and it contains oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen. These elements are present in polymers. Okay. Low electrical conductivity, low thermal resistance, low strength, lighter material, but yeah, strength of polymers are lower compared to metal or ceramics, but in a particular part, strength may not be important criteria. So, but so strength may not be important criteria, so that at those places we can choose polymer for fabrication of those parts. But yeah, we have a variety of polymers, which now we have a variety like Ultem, polycarbonate. These are the very higher strength, they have a very high strength material, and it is used in various industries such like aeronautical, again in a motorbike fabrication, automobile, etc. Other materials are composites. Composites are made of two or more materials. Okay. In from the past several decades, the significant research has been made in area of composites, because by if you are suppose that one parent material may not possess all the properties you required. So, if you will mix another material with this first material, so that that is the composite, you will make a composite, so that your goal will get achieved, because after making composite, the property of hybrid material will be higher than your parent material. Okay. So, these materials are for example, carbon fiber reinforced polymer, polymer fiber reinforced HA, and these composites are lighter in weight, very strong, high fracture toughness, high thermal shock resistance, and so on. So, you can see that from this slide, there are metal, ceramic, polymer, composites, and each material have variety of properties. So, you will have to you will get confused when you will going to select your material basis on only properties of the material. Okay. So, you will have to think beyond of this. So, basic steps in material selection process. Now, we will discuss how we will select material and in a stepwise manner. Okay. First step is a translation. translation is it express design requirements as constraint and objective. Means first it you will have to define function and objective of your design, that is the translation. Second step is screening. So, screening, because you have a variety of materials in your stock. So, they eliminate materials that can't do the job. Suppose that if you are making a electric insulator product, so you can't use metal, you can't use cast iron. So, this material you can easily eliminate, this kind of material you can easily eliminate on basis of your requirement. Then ranking, after elimination of some material, there will be also still there will be few materials, we will have to rank them, find material that best do the job. Suppose that, and you after screening you have a 1, 2, 3, 4 materials, and these all materials can fulfill your requirement. Then it is very confused situation which material I am going to select. Okay. So, there is a way to how can select best out of 4 material. So, that is the ranking. And fourth steps is supporting info. Okay. After selection of your material, you just compare this material properties and your with respect to your requirement in handbooks, expert systems, web page, journals, etc. So, that to confirm whether you have selected right material or not. Okay. First, in steps in material selection process, first I will discuss translation process. Okay. In a translation translate design requirements. First, you define what are your requirements to design anything. Okay. First, you will have to decide your requirements and function of that product which you are going to design. Okay. So, in for translating the design requirements, there are 4 parameters, that is the function, objective, constraint and free variable. Okay. Function, it means what does the component do to define the function of product. Again, objective, what essential condition must be met. Okay. For example, if you are making a cycle frame, so the main function of this frame is to carrying a load. So, you will have to essential, what will be the essential condition? To carry a load up to, suppose that 100 kg. Okay. Now, what is to be maximized or minimized? Constraint, what is the constraint you have? Because in a real value problem always there will be constraint with your objective. Okay. So, within the you in a constraint environment, you will have to optimize the your objective function. And fourth one is free variable. This is the identify which design variable are free. Free variable means these are the very independent variables, and each you can it does not affect your selection process. So, that suppose that if you it does not affect the material selection process. but it helps in selection. Okay. So, we have a 4 parameters: function, objective, constraint and free variable to translate design requirements. Okay. So, I am going to explain translation using one example. Okay. We are going to select a material for a light and strong tie rod. Okay. There is a rod of length L and the cylindrical tie rod of specified length L to carry a tensile force F without failure. Okay. This is the, and it is to be a minimum mass. Okay. These are the requirements of your problem. Okay. Function. What is the function of this rod? Tie rod to withstand an axial tensile load of F. Here problem statement you can see that specified length L to carry a tensile force F. Objective: to minimize the mass of the tie rod, because it is to be of minimum mass. So, we have to minimize the mass of the tie rod, that is the objective you will have to keep in the mind. Fourth one is constraint. Constraint: L is specified, means the length of tie rod is fixed, you can't change the length of your tie rod. Then second way, must not yield under axial tensile load F. It means you will have to design tie rod such that it can carry a load and sustain its shape and size, and it so that failure will not occur. That is the constraint. Now, free variable. Free variable is the cross sectional area. Okay. Because in problem statement cross sectional area is not mentioned. It means you can choose any dimension of cross section of your tie rod, and material you can choose any material. Okay. Now, that is the material any, but using within this environment objective of minimizing the mass of the tie rod and this constraint, how which material will be good, that is the we will have to decide. So, mass of the tie rod. What will be the mass of the tie rod? Mass is a density into length into cross sectional area. Density, its unit is kilogram per meter cube. It is a material property. Okay. L is length of your tie rod and A is the cross sectional area of your tie rod. Okay. So, from this equation you can see that rho and L, rho is material property and material is, suppose that for a particular material it is constant and L is also fixed. So, that only variable is A. So, M, to minimizing the mass can be reduced by reducing the cross sectional area, because M is actually proportional to area. So, if you will reduce the cross sectional area, then mass of the tie rod will get reduced, but there is a constraint. The section area must be sufficient to carry the tensile load F, because you are not going to only design the tie rod, because here one constraint is that you are applying a load also, axial load F. So, suppose that if you will reduce the cross section of your tie rod, so what will happen? It will get thinner and the load carrying capacity will get reduced. So, what is the constraint? The section area must be sufficient to carry the tensile load F. That is the requiring that F by A is lesser than or equal to sigma y. Sigma y is the yield strength of any material. We discussed earlier module what is the yield strength. Okay. So, if you reduce, now eliminate free variable. So, what we are doing? We are substituting the value of cross sectional area from here. What will be? A is equal to M by rho L. So, after putting this, we are getting this one, F rho L by M is equal to sigma y, and finally this one. So, here you can see that in this expression rho is a metal property, L is fixed, F is fixed, here L and fixed. So, only variable is that rho and sigma y variable. Now, our free variables are what is our free variable? Any material and the any material. So, now that means mass can be minimized by maximizing the ratio sigma y by rho. It means if we select a material such that their density is lower and strength is higher, then what will happen? The mass of will minimized. Okay. So, here what we did, we just formulated our requirement and we converted into the what will be the we just reduced the our domain to selection of a for selection of material. So, what is the domain? Our domain now density, the material which has a lower density and higher strength, then if we will use that those materials, then our mass of tie rod will get reduced. Okay. Now, this is the material property chart. So, here our goal is to maximizing the ratio sigma y by sigma. This material chart is proposed by Michael S. Bay, and in this chart we can see that there are variety of materials and it is plotted against strength versus density on log plot. And here you can see that for suppose that if you want to select material for lower density, that is suppose that I am going to select 0 for 0.1 and higher strength, then what material will be good for us? Rigid polymer, this one form. Here variety of forms are different types of forms are available. So, here variety of this is the material property chart. From this chart we can easily select the groups of material that can be used for fabrication of your product. Another, that is the strength versus density. Another plot is Young's modulus versus density. Okay. Here you can also you can formulate your problem in function of Young's modulus and density, so that you can select appropriate material using this plot. Here you can see for a particular, suppose that density is 1, you are taking 1 milligram per meter cube, and for that vertical line. Okay. And if you are going to select higher material which has a Young's modulus of 1 gigapascal, okay, then your domain will be, suppose that E should be equal to 1 gigapascal, requirement is such kind of thing, and density should be lower or equal to 1 milligram per megagram per meter cube. Then what will be your search region? This will be your search region. So, you can see that you just omitted lot of materials from this chart, and only now we have only group of few materials. Okay. Now, after that you can again you can do in you can select most appropriate material in next steps. After deciding your requirement and your defining everything, objective function and your constraint, and then after second step comes out, that is the screening of material. Okay. In earlier problem our goal was to how we will reduce the mass of tie rod, and we concluded that it can be minimized by maximizing the yield strength by density ratio. Okay. Now, after getting this thing, we will have to screen the material which can group of materials which can satisfy our this requirement. Okay. Now, screening, the starting point is the entire range of engineering materials. Earlier we I showed you in very first slide in lecture module 26, there are variety of materials are there to fabrication process, in a fabrication process. So, we can't look every material for our fabrication of our product. Okay. Now, at this stage what we will have to do, first we will have to essential to open up channels in different direction. Okay. It means if suppose that if you are going in only one direction, suppose that for lighter you need lighter material. So, if you will select only keep in mind only this thing material which is very light in weight, so that I can make our product with this those materials. So, that is not good idea. We will have to you will have to consider another constraint such like the strength should be higher, the strength property, so that you will have to open your channels in different multi direction, so that you can get your appropriate material for fabrication. For example, a steel may be the best material for one design concept, while a plastic is best for a different concept, even though the two designs provide similar function. Okay. Means steel and plastic, the part made with either steel or plastic have a same functionality, but different properties. Okay. So, you will have to how you will have to choose either plastic or steel on basis of your requirement. Okay. Now, the importance of this phase is that it creates alternatives without much regard to their feasibility. Okay. Here you have selected only 2-3 materials, steel, plastic, these kind of things, but still you have not achieved your goal, because they are the different these possess different properties. Okay. So, still they have a no feasible analysis has been done now till now. Okay. First, so there are various methods of initial screening of solution. First, rigid material and process requirement, cost per unit property method, SB method, Dergi method, and there are variety of more methods are available for initial screening of your metal selection. First, I will discuss rigid materials and process requirements. Here, initial screening of materials can be achieved by first classifying their performance requirement into two main categories. First is rigid or go no go requirement, soft or relative requirement. Okay. Rigid requirement means, suppose that if you going to make electrical insulator, so that rigid requirement is that electrical insulation, the material that should be electrically insulate. Okay. So, you can't use metal and alloy. So, simply you just eliminate those materials. So, that is the rigid requirements. Your rigid requirement is that electrically non-conductive, your rigid requirement. So, you simply just eliminate metals and alloy, so that some significant portion of material list from a material list you have eliminated using only one rigid requirements. Then the second is soft relative requirements. Okay. Now, electrical insulator have a variety of material which possess electrical insulation, so that this is the soft requirement. Now, you will have to suppose that a material, a product, suppose that you are going to make a product which is to be electrically non-conducting and lighter in weight with inexpensive okay. It means you have three requirements. You are going to make a product which is electrically non-conducting, that is the hard requirement. Second thing, lighter in weight, and fourth one is inexpensive. Okay. So, this thing, cheaper materials okay. So, it may be variety of materials will be there. In a short range of price. Okay. Suppose that material M1 has a cost 100 rupees and M2 has a cost 105 rupees, M3 cost of M3 is 95 INR. So, and if you are going to make a product which is to be used in highly sophisticated place, okay, then the difference in prices is not much important as compared to this one, electrically non-conducting. Okay. So, here this requirement is soft or relative requirements for your this problem statement. Okay. Now, second method is cost per unit property method. So, this method is important where cost of the material is plays significant role. Okay. Suppose that I will explain this method using taking one example. Consider the case of a bar of a given length L to support a tensile force F. Suppose that there is a bar of length L and tensile force on both ends is F. The cross sectional area is A of the bar. So, that will be given by A is equal to F by S, and where S is equal to sigma by Y divided by factor of safety. Factor of safety is a very important term in designing of mechanical design of material. Okay. So, suppose so you will have to take consider of that factor of safety. Factor of safety, it increase in factor of safety will increase material requirement, amount of metal requirement and cost. So, you will have to select factor of safety very intelligently for your particular product which is to be used in a certain operation. Okay. Now, the cost of the bar, that is given by C dash is equal to C into M. M is the mass of that bar, or M we already explained in earlier slides. M is equal to rho into A into L, and C is the cost of the material per unit mass, and rho is the density of the material. Okay. By simplifying this, we get C rho F L by S, that is the cost of the bar. In the case of the tensile member, the cost of unit strength C rho by S can be used for initial screening, because here F and L both are the fixed condition. Length of bar is fixed, that is not going to be changed, and F, you are applying a load, that is the fixed. You know the product which is to be used in a particular operation where that much force will be applied on that product. Okay. So, that both parameters are fixed, F and L are fixed. So, only this term C rho by S, that is going to be the main term for in a cost per unit property calculation. Okay. Now, here material with lower cost per unit strength are preferable. because after all you are whatever you are going to make, this is for commercial purpose, or you are going to make benefit from the commercially benefited from the market. Okay. So, these thing are the very important. Lower cost is very important parameter in material design selection. If an upper limit is set for the quantity C rho by S, then material satisfying the condition can be identified and used as possible candidate for more detailed analysis in the next stage of the selection. Okay. So, what you will do, first you will calculate cost of the cost per unit that material, and then whatever you have think that our cost should be in that range. Suppose that x1 INR to x2 INR, then material that should fall between this range, you are only you can select those materials for your fabrication. Now, these are the some standard formulas for cost per unit property calculation using different loading condition. Suppose that there is solid cylinder in tension or compression. Solid cylinder in tension and compression means this is the cylinder, yeah, that is the in tension. If you are applying a load like this, that is the compression. Solid cylinder in bending, here you are applying a load, so that it will get bent. So, cost per unit strength will be this one. If you have density and you know density and yield strength of your material, then you can use this formula. Either you can use this formula if you have Young's modulus. You can it means you can design either cost per unit strength or cost per unit stiffness, both are okay. E is the Young's modulus. Solid cylinder in torsion, if you are applying a twisting moment here like this, then what will be cost per unit strength? Solid cylinder bar as a slender column, solid rectangle in bending, thin wall cylinder pressure vessel. So, these are the different loading condition and cross section. The cost per unit strength as well as cost per unit stiffness changes. Okay. So, I am going to explain you using this case study. Here what problem statement is that, consider a structural member in the form of simply supported beam of rectangular cross section. The length of the beam is 1 meter, the width of 100 mm, there is no restriction on the depth of the beam, means depth of the beam is the free variable. So, the beam is subjected to a concentrated load of 20 kilonewton which act on its middle. The main design requirement is that the beam should not suffer plastic deformation as a result of load application. So, these are the requirement. The main design requirement is that, what is the requirement? Beam should not suffer plastic deformation, that is the constraint, that is the free variable, and other parameters are given. Okay. On basis of that, they have this table they have calculated and found that there are 4 materials which can fulfill this criteria and candidate material for the beam, and here for working stress and the 117 megapascal for ASI 1020, AISI 4140 for 2222 megapascal, and they are already considered, they have considered factor of safety of 3. Okay. And specific gravity of these materials are 7.86, 2.7, 2.11. Okay. And using this value and earlier formula, this one because the solid rectangle bending, this formula will be suitable for this question. C rho by S 1 by 2, that is the cost per unit for this simply supported beam rectangular cross section. They have calculated for each material, cost of unit for each material. Now, we can see that for AISI 1020 is cost per unit is 0.73, this is 0.73, 1.69, 2.26, but yeah, for all 4 material can fulfill our criteria. So, what material we will select again? So, The result shows that still ASI and 4140 are equally suitable, and while A160 and 61 and epoxy both are more expensive. Okay, now we are again we have eliminated two materials. So now we reduced our material range of group of material in only two. So we can select either two material. Okay, till now we have already learned about translation steps and the screening steps in a selection of material. Okay, now I am closing this module, and in the next module I will discuss rest of the two steps that is involved in a selection of material. Thank you.